So this is a hard topic to talk about, and I know that many of you guys might click on this, click off of it once you see the title called "It is no longer acceptable to act like child trafficking does not happen here in the U.S. right in our backyards." Because it is a hard topic to even think about, and to be honest, all day long I have been in a really down, sad mood because this topic is hard and this topic is heartbreaking. But it is no longer acceptable to act like this does not happen in our backyards and act like we don't need to talk about it. Because with everything coming out in the news, with everything coming out, today being the trafficking day awareness, it is clear that we have a problem in the U.S. with child trafficking. And what does that mean? What does that mean for us? What does that mean if your child has not gone through trafficking, or if you don't know anyone who's gone through trafficking? Thank goodness, and I am so happy to hear that. But you still have a choice to stand up for those children who are being broken, raped, and abused every single day. Not just once a day, not just twice a day, day in and day out. And I know this is a hard topic, and I know that we want to ignore it. And believe me, like I want to just go on with my job. I want to go on with my business, and I don't want to think about how many people are going through trafficking right now. But I can't ignore it, and neither can you anymore. And what that means is that yes, it is hard. Yes, it's hard to talk about, but you get to have those topics or those conversations with your children, with people you know, with friends, with family, because when we talk about it, things happen. When we stand for these children, voices are heard. And it might not seem like your voice is heard. You might just seem like you're one person. What can you do if you're one person? But imagine if we all said that. Imagine if we all said, "Oh, I'm just one person, I can't help." Then no one would be taking action right now. But there are thousands of people around the U.S. right now taking a stand by marching for these children, for protesting for these children, for passing laws for these children, for sharing their own stories of abuse for these children. And so you can do the same. And I want to encourage you, because I can get in this mood myself of going through these videos and watching these trafficking videos, and it's devastating and it's hard to watch. But I want to encourage you, if children can go through it, we can watch it and we can stand for them and we can speak up. And on that note, that we get to do something by using our voices and saying something, and that is enough. And yes, we can go and try to make laws happen where the traffickers actually get put away. Because it's devastating to hear the laws right now about the traffickers getting a slap on the wrist. The traffickers getting a few years and then being released in the same neighborhoods that they were abusing the children in. And we can act like that is defeating, and we can act like we don't want to think about it. We don't want to do anything because nothing's going to change. But that simply is not true. Our voices matter. We get to stand up. We get to pass laws. We get to fight for these children. And I watched a live today with Alisha, and I'll post a link to her Facebook and Instagram. She is a survivor of abuse, and she was groomed online at the age of 13, I believe. And after 9 months of him grooming her online, and what that means if you don't know what grooming is, he acted like he was her age. He acted like he was a friend, got to know her family, got to know everything, got to know what she was going through, and he acted like he was her best friend. And so when he asked to meet up in person, she didn't think twice, because she saw him as a friend and someone who was there to support her. So when she met up with him, he ended up being 3 times the age that she thought he was. And he kidnapped her and took her to a basement and raped and abused her online streaming. And thank God someone watching that recognized her from a missing child's poster. and reported it to the FBI, even above him getting in trouble for watching that, and reported it, and she was found. And now she advocates for other children who've gone through sex trafficking, and she actually has a law called Alicia's Law to support people who are going through sex trafficking and the police officers who are fighting for them. And so if Alisha would have said that her story didn't matter, if her voice didn't matter, she wouldn't have created the crazy waves that she has to support so many right now. And she wouldn't be standing up every single day if she didn't think her voice mattered, because it does, and so does yours. And so I want to encourage you, if you have gone through abuse, if you have gone through sex trafficking, that you are not alone, and that I am sorry if no one has stuck up for you and no one has fought for you. Because we are here fighting for you now, and you're not alone in this. And so if you need to talk after going through abuse or trafficking or anything, reach out to me, reach out to somebody in your community, because we are here for you. And I'm sorry we're late, but this does not define you. Yes, it's gonna take time to heal from the abuse in your past, and it's always gonna be something, a part of your life. And what I mean by that is it's always gonna be there, but you can find healing and freedom afterwards. And so I want to encourage you in that. And back to this message of abuse, and another thing that I was watching the other day was just talking about, Jill, thanks for your hearts and stuff, was talking about the myths behind abuse, the myths behind trafficking, the myths behind these things. And something that stuck out to me was is from Eve and Victoria, and I'll post their links as well. But they're talking about how the only person that can stop an abuse from happening is the abuser himself or herself. And so what that means is nothing that you're wearing, nothing you were doing, nothing you said, nothing you didn't say was your fault. And it's really important to know that if you've gone through any kind of abuse, to realize it's not your fault. And what can we do to prevent child trafficking is to speak up, talk about it, help our kids stand for themselves. Not just talk about it, but actually teach them how to stand for themselves, how to value themselves, so that they know that no man, no woman should ever be able to touch them that way. No one should be able to lure them to go visit them off of the internet, because they know who they are, they know the risk, and they know how to say no. And that is a stand that we can take. And that is a stand that every single one of you listening to this can take right now, is to stand up for our children, give them knowledge, not so that they're scared, not so that they're worried all the time, but so that they can stand up and defend themselves if the time ever comes. And I don't know, everyone's story on here who's watching, but for my own story, I wish I would have had that knowledge. I wish I would have learned how to say no. I wish I would have known to not just say okay to family members, and I wish I would have been able to stand up for myself. And so take that as a sign for you to talk to your children, for you to talk to people in your community, for you to talk to other parents, and not just back down when they say it's too hard of a topic to talk to your kids. No, tell them why it's important to talk to your kids. And if you ever need support in talking to your kids about it, reach out to me. I would love to support you in that. I interviewed a really amazing mom, Maya Baker, a little while ago on my page, and you can watch that interview. And so she talks about how to talk to your kids about how to not make them shameful. And Alisha talks about this too in her live. Just how not to make kids feel shameful about talking about things. Like even if your 8-year-old came to you and said, I sent a nude photo to somebody, don't make them feel shameful about that. Talk to them. Because you never know who got that photo, and you never know what's next after that photo. And so I want to encourage you guys right now to take the time, and Alicia asked us all to do this too. Take the time to go to missingchild.org, missingchildsomething.org, I think you guys can find it, and find your local area and post a picture of that child or children that are missing in their posters. Because that is exactly how Alisha was found, where someone recognized her from a missing child poster. And right now with the internet, yes, it's causing a lot of harm with the rates of abuse going up, with child trafficking going up, but at the same time is we can post those pictures and have millions of people see those pictures of those children going missing. So that is something you can do to take a stand for these children, is go online, get a picture of your local area and post their pictures, because you never know who's watching and you never know who's gonna see that poster and recognize someone coming into a gas station, coming into a hotel. So take a stand for these children. Don't just turn another eye. Don't just get down and don't just get sad about it, as hard as that can be. I know how hard that can be. But here's the deal, us getting sad, us getting emotional about it, and not that that's not okay to be emotional about it and sad about it, because it is, but us not actually taking action is hurting those children. And we don't get to do that anymore. We get to take a stand for these children. So if you have any other questions, I'll post some links to some websites, some things you can do to support these children who are missing and who have gone through trafficking. Because we're in this fight together, and your voice does matter. And it is no longer okay to act like this does not happen in our backyard. Thank you guys for listening. Share this video, share this topic. Don't just give up on these children. We have a right to fight for these children. Don't give up on them. Don't give up on yourself, and share this message. Thank you.